So we're back again, and today we're going to talk a little bit about something that we're all involved in, and that's the government. You pay your taxes. Well, first of all, when we talked about charities, we said that they began with helping grassroots programs. Then we talked about the foundations, the charitable foundations who help the grassroots programs. Then we talked about the corporations and how they helped the grassroots programs. But we talked about them building on the service mechanism. Service, service, service. Now, the government then followed suit. They just funded or provide your tax dollars to those programs that they knew about. In other words, the tax dollar follows the philanthropic dollar. The gifts that were given, the government knows about them, so they follow and give more gifts. But what happens is that you're creating a larger and larger bureaucracy. One that says the larger the bureaucracy, the larger the program, the more money the program gets. Well, in essence, the question is, well, what happened to the prevention programs? Elements that are designed to prevent the problem as opposed to servicing. Well, quite frankly, it's being pushed to the side. And it has been pushed to the side. One, because we can't seem to quantify. That means putting numbers on it, putting A, B, C relative to the services that are being provided. Two, the prevention programs take time to show effectiveness if you're looking at it from a quantitative perspective. But what happens is the public simply are forced to pay their taxes, and they don't get involved in the inner workings of the various programs. So therefore, you have your community service programs. They're funded by the corporations, that are funded by the charities, and now funded by the government. Now the question is, how much is being used for prevention? And the answer is very, very little. And that's what we talked about. But how do we get something done? It's very simple. We've been talking about it session after session after session. By having a prevention component within the giving. Number one, all service programs must collaborate with a prevention program. Number two, by collaborating and networking with a prevention program, you created a holistic service. And in creating that holistic service, you have a means of saying we've been effective. Effective, number one, by the program itself, but primarily also by helping to reduce the amount of monies that we have to give to the government again. So therefore, that's what we say the problem is, and that's something that we'll be dealing with on and on and on in our lectures, is that we must begin to address prevention. And eventually, as you see this, you'll find that this whole idea of prevention first, service second, is not so illogical. Prevent the pregnancy, then we put the kids on welfare. Prevent the pregnancy, then we abort the baby. Once you figure out that puzzle, you'll be on the right track to understanding how we can affect positive change for the poor. Again, my name is Creighton Rippey. You can look us up on the web at www.greaterdetroitoutreach.org. Thank you.